welcome to Crazy World. So we've got, in Canada, we've heard nothing about a housing crisis for a decade, right? You've been hearing it. I've been hearing it. I've been talking about it. It's been established. There is a housing crisis in Canada. We need housing in Canada desperately. We got the Prime Minister promising 500,000 Carneyville yurts a year. We've got this incredible push at all levels of government, and it hasn't been working out. The new constructions of homes, low-rise homes like single-family and townhouses and stuff, is actually collapsing in two provinces. Totally collapsed in Ontario, collapsing in British Columbia. So what now? What's crazy? Now, CMHC announced just a few days ago, we are going to have a rental oversupply in Canada, in particularly in British Columbia and Ontario, probably Alberta, possibly even Quebec. We are going to have too many rental properties. Yep, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Like CMHC has been talking about the need to build millions of homes, hundreds of thousands of homes more a year. We've been hearing about it all this time. And suddenly they changed their minds. Well, if you'd have been listening to this show for a while, you would have heard my explanation that yes, we have created way too many shit rentals, like terrible dog crate condos that nobody wants to live in because they're horrible designs. They've been built on an incredibly overpriced basis. And then simultaneously, for the last number of years, we have had a CMHC program, which I said in the beginning was an excellent program, that it will result in the building of a lot of purpose-built rentals. And all of a sudden, we will go from building no purpose-built rentals to a very large number. And it's been building for the last couple of years significantly. And guess what? CMHC has now decided that within 12 months, there will be too many rental units available in Canada. I know. It's just absolutely nuts. Like, it's literally like everything the government touches turns to crap, okay? Like, it's bizarre, but it's true. So let's break it down again. What's happened? First of all, there's the condo disaster in Southern Ontario, really all of Ontario, and Vancouver, Lower Mainland, British Columbia. Way overbuilding of condos, tremendous overbuilding of condos. They were all bad. That were not all, but a whole shit ton of them were just bad. They were terrible, small, 500 square feet, terrible layouts, the buildings were terrible. There weren't enough elevators. The layouts were awful, like just generally building garbage because there was an infinite number of buyers, because people made a ton of money on condos from, say, the year 2000 through to 2020. They made bank. They did really well. Even in the world financial crisis of 2008, 2009, the condo people didn't get too badly beat up. They just kept on renting and everything was fine and nothing was a big disaster. And then in between 2010 and 2020, my God, those people made money, huge amount of money. Everybody flipping condos, buying condos, selling by assignment, made money on the rents. Everything was great. And then finally, they priced themselves into insanity, just like the Dutch tulip bubble and like any other bubble. And the only reason to buy was because it worked before. Prices didn't make any sense anymore. People kept buying, and now it's a total disaster. Crap product at too high prices, but there's still tens of thousands of them coming. They're coming in Calgary. They're not as badly priced in Calgary, don't get me wrong, but looking a little weird. It's looking a little odd in Calgary, whether it's going to work out for them or not. Certainly Toronto's a complete and utter disaster and will continue to be a disaster for at least another 18 months or more. Vancouver's bad, won't improve on the condo side briskly at all. So yeah, all that. And like I said, they're still coming. Prices are falling. But wait, because some of these developers realized that this was not working out 2 years ago, they actually pivoted and took the land that they'd bought and got approved to be a condominium and turned it into a purpose-built rental. So in other words, it's not going to be a condo anymore. We're going to change a little bit remove the amenities, change a little bit, and it's going to be a purpose-built, pure rental building. We'll commit to this CMHC program that helps us with our financing, and we're going to build a rental unit. Okay, great. But now too many pivoted, and there was too much in the pipeline. And guess what? The government, in their wisdom, they are not doing the million-person-a-year immigration anymore. Yeah, that big fiasco, total disaster, worst policy ever, that has failed. So immigrants are returning to their countries of origin, all the students, many of the temporary workers, going back. There's no longer the pressing demand for rentals that there was when we bring in 1 million people a year. And guess what? Rents are falling. They're falling all across Canada, falling in Calgary, falling probably I think the Toronto's the worst, but I mean, Vancouver's bad. I mean, like, it's everywhere you go, rents are falling, but there's tens and tens of thousands of additional rental units going to come to construction completion in the next 2 years, sometimes 2.5 years. And there's going to be so many that some of them just may stay empty, particularly the horrible dog crate condos that are terrible floor plans that nobody wants to live in, okay? And that's the disaster. CMHC announced, we think sometime in 2026, we will see the signs of complete oversupply. Get this. We need to stop building these rentals. That's going to happen all by itself because, when you realize that there's nobody to rent them. Yeah. So how come this happened? How come this incredible disaster happened? I'll give you a simple answer. Because government is stupid. Okay, there was the terrible mistakes about immigration, and then which led to this overbuilding, and then we had this incredible mistake of not building any inventory of the product that people actually wanted to buy, which is affordable low-rise homes, affordable towns, semis, and single families. They were all built to be over $2 million. And by the way, we stopped building a lot of low-rise in Ontario in 2018. Yeah, we were building 80% high-rise, 20% low-rise back in 2018. Like 7 years ago, we stopped building any amount of, and certainly they weren't affordable. So the thing that people actually want, because let's face it, urban planners are all idiots. Every one of them. Like, you might say to people, you need density. But if people really don't want density, you can't make them take density. So now we have an incredible shortage of affordable low-rise homes, towns, single families, and an incredible oversupply of shitty rentals. Yep. Thank you, government. You've done it again.